Welcome back, learners. Today in this video, this is a continuation video for your fermentation. So in this video we will be discussing your bioreactor design. So in this video we will be discussing your bioreactor design. So in the last video I have already discussed that what is fermentation and what are the history behind your fermentation. Now when we are talking of your fermentation, you know that you have to have some tools for your successful fermentation, and the important tools of fermentation is that the microorganisms, okay, the organisms which will actually give you the product of industrial importance, and another is the confinement, the substrate, okay, that is your second most important thing which has to be kept in mind. And the third one is where to do the fermentation. What is that particular place where you do the fermentation? So the confinement, where you do the fermentation. So bioreactor design basically associated with fermentation. Fermentation involves various tools like microorganism is required who will metabolize the substrate to give you a product of industrial importance, and it requires a confinement, right? Now the question is that, as we have seen in my history, that it can even be done in a jar, right? It can even be done in any confinement. So you have your conical flask and other glasswares in your laboratory. So why don't you try a fermentation over there? Why we require a bioreactor for doing it, right? So that is why. So from this particular question comes the idea of the definition of a bioreactor, right? So if I first write the definition of the bioreactor and then I relate, then you will be understanding my point. That is, the definition of the bioreactor is that it is a confinement where the organism is cultivated and motivated to grow. Cultivated and motivated to grow. So the organism is basically cultivated and motivated to grow. So here there are two important terms. So if I highlight those terms, that is your cultivation, another is your motivation. So how will you differentiate the two? Now you know that I give you one example. So if I ask you that what is the best place which you are comfortable with? What is that particular best place which make you very much comfortable? So what will be your answer? Your answer will be that my home. So here also you have to give them that best confinement, that best place which will provide them the optimum environment. And that particular optimum environment comprises of your optimum pH, optimum temperature. If the organism requires oxygen, so optimum dissolved oxygen concentration, optimum humidity or moisture. So everything has to be optimum such that that becomes a best ambient environment for their growth. And that is why they will be proliferated, they will be motivated to grow, motivated to multiply, and in a very short interval of time you will basically get a huge number of microorganisms and your product in no time, right? Because you have to have your industrially important compound in a very short interval of time and in optimum amount, and that will add up to the economic benefit of the industry. So you have to keep in mind all these factors. So from there comes the importance of your bioreactor and of course the importance of your bioreactor design, which will give you that particular ambient environment where the organism will not only be cultivated, but the important is their motivation to grow. So that is why we are so, this particular chapter is so important, and this particular chapter you require to understand before you move on to the depth of various other fermentation processes. Okay. So next we will move on to another term, that is your fermenter. So we are writing here fermenter, we are writing here bioreactor. So can you differentiate? So you know that fermenter, however, in strictest definition, a fermenter is a system that provides an anaerobic process for producing alcohol from sugar, right? Fermentation, fermenter. But fermenter, most of the prokaryotic organisms are facilitated. It is also a confinement for your fermentation, but it is not in that particular broader sense. But bioreactor is in a broader sense. Like you can also go for a plant bioreactor, right? Animal bioreactor, right? Apart from microbial bioreactor. So bioreactor is a broader aspect of your fermenter design, and fermenter is basically confined to the microorganism, confined to the prokaryotic world for the production of industrially important compound. Okay. So next, we will move on to some of the, since we are discussing the bioreactor design, so my main concept over here will be when I construct a bioreactor design, what are the key points which I have to keep in mind, right? So first and foremost thing is that, so I will highlight you the key points. So you know, designing a bioreactor is one of the major steps of fermentation industry. Okay, so it is Stanbury and Whitaker. Stanbury and Whitaker, 1995, proposed certain idea for the construction of bioreactor. And according to them, you know, first point which you have to keep in mind is that a bioreactor must have the capacity of working for a long time. So it has to have a capacity for working long time. So that is important because you are utilizing it in the industry. Next is, it should be large enough to carry out industrial fermentation. So large enough to carry out industrial fermentation. So it is large enough to carry out your industrial fermentation. Next is that the bioreactor should be designed to exclude entrance of contaminating organisms as well as containing the desired organism. So you know that two important things come over here. That is your desired organism and your contaminating organism. Contamination. Okay. So you have to stop contamination and you have to facilitate the growth of desired organism. How will you do it? That means if you have any contamination in the fermenter along with your target organism, the product will not be the same. It will have mixtures of your products plus byproducts. So what will happen? So it becomes very difficult for you to purify your product. So downstream processing becomes complex, which is not at all desirable. Okay. Now this is one point. Next is your desired oxygen level must be maintained above critical level of aeration and culture agitation. So the desired oxygen level must be greater than critical level. Next is, it must have system to regulate temperature and agitation. So in my next video, I will be discussing you the what is agitation, what is aeration. So temperature and agitation is the thing. Next is, it must have the system to monitor and regulate the pH of the medium during the culture. So there comes the control. I told you they have to be given a ambient temperature, ambient pH control. So pH control has to be there. Temperature control system has to be there. Okay. And then it should consume least energy. So it will consume least energy. Okay. these should have a provision for introducing the media and inoculum, and culture volume should remain constant. So there has to be a seed tank, and from the seed tank, the seed has to go into the fermentation vessel. So that is one very important point. The evaporation of the medium should be low. So there has to be proper sealing in the fermenter, proper sealing in the fermenter, proper provision in the fermenter, such that the medium do not evaporate. The evaporation of the medium is basically low. Okay. So this is the total prerequisite for design of a fermenter, which is being given by Stanbury and Whitaker. Okay. Now, I will also highlight some of the other important aspects of your fermenter design before we move on to the fermenter design, and that is basically that the other area of major importance in bioreactor design involves the bioreactor parameters. So what are the bioreactor parameters? So bioreactor parameters are as follows. That is your controlled temperature, okay. Optimum pH, sufficient substrate. So usually a carbon source or sugar, protein, fat. Okay. Next is your water availability. So water availability. So availability of the water. Salt for nutrition. So what are the salt which is being given for the nutrition? Okay. Vitamins to be added in the substrate. Okay. Oxygen. So you have to give oxygen for your aerobic process if it is possible. Then is your gas evolution. That parameter has to be kept in mind. And product and byproduct removal. Product and byproduct removal. So these are the following parameters which has to be kept in mind. Okay. So main goal of our particular fermentation technique is to do efficient fermentation in a very short period of time, and you get the product at an optimum in that particular short period of time that will enhance the economic benefit of the industry. And for that we require to understand the design of the bioreactor, and for that we require some parameters which has to be kept in mind while designing the bioreactor, right? There are also certain other parameters as well, like the labor cost has to be low, the design should be such, right? Then the cheapest nutrient will be able to give you the product in no time. Okay, the internal surface of the bioreactor should be non-reactive and smooth. So all these things has to be kept in mind along with the bioreactor parameters for the design of a efficient bioreactor. So in this lecture video, I have briefed you about what is bioreactor and biofermenter, and what are the criteria of designing of bioreactor, and what are the parameters which are to be kept in mind while designing of your bioreactor. So in the next video, we will be discussing the bioreactor design with its basic part, with its classification and its function. Thank you. Thank you once again. Stay at home and stay safe.